Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's video, to kick off the week, we are going over some very major news that has been going on in the hobby over the past week. I figured today would just be a good day to kind of catch up on some of the major things that have happened over the course of the past week, and more importantly, provide you all some commentary and some of my own thoughts on what is going on. So without further ado, let's jump right into it with perhaps the biggest news for the year. Pokemon officially launching the campaign to celebrate 25 years of Pokemon. As you can see on screen right now, we are on the official Pokemon website, which I will have linked down below in the description. And as you can see, there's tons of stuff to talk about. So the first thing is I definitely recommend checking out some of the videos that they have here. It's super dope because I think they did a really good job of kind of highlighting all of the different fun and quirky things that make Pokemon so fun. It was hard not watching these videos and not cracking a smile at the same time, because some of the stuff is just so nostalgic and so familiar that it's really fun to watch. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't already, going to the website and at least checking out these videos. There's definitely a lot of cool Easter egg type stuff in those videos, tons to digest and watch. Now, scrolling down, some of the biggest news is that Katy Perry has been brought on as a official brand representative, specifically providing a sort of original soundtrack that will go along with the 25th anniversary. So they made a very big deal to kind of show that Katy Perry, a pop icon as they call her, is going to be a major part of how the 25th anniversary sounds. Now, if I can briefly say something about this, I think it's awesome for a couple reasons. One, I love Katy Perry. Katy, if you're watching this, I love you. More importantly, I think it's cool because in the past, it almost seemed like Pokemon knew that 20 years was a big deal, but I'm so happy that from 20 to 25 years, they've really kind of stepped their game up in the way that they're going about this anniversary. So they've definitely put together a really nice web page. They have the rumored set coming out. They have a lot of branded content coming out. And I love the fact that they're not just doing this thing where they release a card set and that's kind of it. They're really going out of their way to now get more stuff and more media involved in the anniversary, and I think that's going to make for a far better and more compelling type of anniversary celebration. Because again, when you think of Pokemon, you think of the very unique and distinct sounds, the video games, the cards, and so having an original soundtrack to go around it, I think it's going to be awesome. More importantly, and don't be fooled, there are tons of people who are very happy because Katy Perry singing about Pokemon is going to be a very good way for another wave of new joiners to join in on the hobby. Now, it might not necessarily be the trading card game at first, but I have a feeling that tons of folks are going to hear the songs, see the content, and then they're going to say, wow, let me jump in on this. There are even rumors that Leonhardt is also planning, or at least trying to get involved from an official Pokemon standpoint, and I assume that many other content creators are also going to be doing their own little celebrations for the 25th. So don't be surprised if you see another major wave of things happening, especially as Pokemon begins to recognize that some of the YouTubers might be more effective influencers when combined with the star power of someone like Katy Perry. Now, moving along, obviously one of my favorite parts of the news that broke last week has to be about the promo cards. So each month this year, Pokemon is actually going to be releasing a special jumbo card set. So here is what the binder is going to look like. This binder will be released in February of this year, so not far from now we will be seeing this binder get on the store shelves. And what's super cool about this is that it has all of the different starter Pokemon from across the regions on it. Then every single month they're going to release a variety of special booster packs, and those booster packs are going to contain jumbo cards. And every month you'll be able to buy the jumbo cards, put them in the binder, and then at the end you'll have a full and complete set. Now we'll take a look at those in just a moment, but in addition to that, they said, there's even more fun in store. As of Tuesday, January 19th, there's also going to be a special Bear Walker skateboard release that will commemorate the 25th anniversary. In addition to that, there is going to be the 25th anniversary set. So by and far, tons of different things to see and do. And again, I think it's really powerful that Pokemon has really kind of stepped their game up and is like really putting out a barrage of different media as well as purchasables, all of which are going to kind of synergize and turn into this year-long celebration for Pokemon. It really is cool. It's really something to look forward to, and I think it's definitely going to give people something to look forward to each and every single month. Now, to briefly show what the binder is going to look like, here's what it's going to look like. It's going to be a blister of sorts, so it's going to hang on store shelves, and then here's what it looks like. It has the Pikachu tail, it has the Pikachu face with the 2 and the 5 on it, and then, like I'd said before, the background art is going to be all of the different starter Pokemon from across the regions. If you click through, this is a jumbo binder, meaning it's going to fit jumbo size cards, and then they're going to release jumbo packs like this. As you can see down here, it says 3 oversized game cards. So this pack is going to be quite large. And then the idea is going to be that it's also going to include 2 booster packs as well. Each of these is going to MSRP for about $10, I believe. And obviously there are going to be different ones for the different generations. So if we scroll through, we just saw Gen 6. On screen right now is Gen 3, Gen 2, I think that's Gen 7 or Gen 5, I can't remember at this point. Gen 1, obviously, Gen 4, Gen 5, and then here's what the cards look like. So here's something that I thought was really interesting. Pokemon is going to be reprinting the original card from when the Pokemon first appeared in the TCG. So obviously for the Generation 1 Pokemon, it's going to be base set, right? So if you look, this is an exact print of how base set Pikachu would have looked like. And Pikachu is going to be the exception to the rule. Every other Pokemon card in this special anniversary jumbo set is going to be a starter Pokemon. But of course, they had to do it for the one time. After that, you'll get the literal exact Bulbasaur from base set. Notice it's not the error card, it's length weight, not length. But other than that, the exact card from the set. Same thing, you're going to get the Neo Genesis cards in jumbo format. And again, Pokemon isn't doing anything weird where they're like reprinting it. They're using the exact original artwork, something that I think is really cool and really awesome. The only thing is going to be that this is a jumbo card, and obviously that it has the 25th anniversary marker on it. I'll start paging through them now. Here is I believe it would be Ruby and Sapphire is when the Gen 3 Pokemon were released. You'll obviously get the Gen 4 Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl base set. Same thing for Black and White base set, being where you get the Black and White Pokemon. Here's something interesting though. For XY Generation 6, I think, if I'm counting correctly, you'll see that they actually premiered in promo cards. So this was, again, the first time the Pokemon ever appeared on a card. And as a result of that, it's actually not from XY base set, it's actually from a promo card. That is where these Pokemon made their first official appearance. Same thing for the Sun and Moon era. You'll see that all of those are the promo cards. And finally but not least, here are the Sword and Shield cards, same concept. So that was some interesting news, but then we were also blessed with this snippet of information. On top of that, it's been rumored that the Diamond and Pearl remakes will also be a part of the 25th anniversary edition or celebration or whatever it is you want to call it at this point. It seems like they're really just going hard for an entire year. Hi, Shaq. But what's super cool about this is that it's going, it's rumored to be in coincidence with the overall 25th anniversary bonanza. And I gotta say, if they're going to push the remakes of the games, they're probably also then going to push a TCG version of that, or at least try to. Think about the way that they released the EX Fire Red and Leaf Green exactly when the video game remakes of Gen 1 came out. Same thing with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. In theory, we could even get something like a Diamond and Pearl set as our next set, because typically the video games also help to then pace out how the trading card's going to work. So after Sword and Shield, we may be looking at something like Temporal Time and Space Pearl as the next sort of set that we're looking at, unless they can coincidentally get the Generation 9 games out at the same time. So that, again, might be something to think about, but, you know, I thought it was interesting because I was a huge fan of these games, and I think it could have major implications on the TCG as well. Finally, but not least, I did want to get back to the actual trading card game for a little bit, heavens forbid, and talk a little bit about the test print Blastoise that recently sold at auction. So, in case you're a little unfamiliar with the history of this card, and I've tried to educate myself as best as possible before making the video, but if you do recognize something that I'm saying as being incorrect or not entirely true, feel free to correct me down below in the comments. If it's good enough a summary of the history of the card, I'm more than happy to pin the comment as well, so that folks that watch this video will be able to get some additional context. But to my understanding, this card was printed by Wizards of the Coast. Now, back in the day, before Pokemon even came here to the United States, Wizards of the Coast was operating anyway. They were printing Magic and other trading card games that existed at that time. When rumors and official business started happening for Pokemon to bring their trading card game here to the United States, obviously Wizards of the Coast was selected as the printing company that would be printing the cards. And, ironically enough, what ended up happening was Wizards ended up having the ability to test print certain cards, so they wanted to kind of get an idea for how the English card would look compared to the Japanese. And so, very few of these cards that you're seeing on screen right now were printed. So this is a Blastoise. Now, many people would look at it and immediately think that it's some sort of, fake card, or that it's not really a thing, but this is a legitimate card that was printed completely as a test. And so you can see many of the really interesting things. They were using a weird kind of text because they hadn't figured that out yet. They did print a Blastoise first. A lot of people were surprised by this, that it wasn't a Charizard or anything like that, but you do have to bear in mind, up till now, Wizards had no context, and, there was no reason to believe Charizard was going to be a fan favorite Pokemon here in the United States as well. So I guess they just grabbed a Pokemon artwork that Nintendo sent over and decided to run with it. And what's interesting is that, again, you can see up here in the corner it says stack this card on the monster card. You'll have a special power instead of a Poke Power, or whatever it ended up being. And you can see that instead of retreat, it actually says escape down here. And then it also says stats. It was apparently 2 feet tall and 100 pounds. You can see that it had a level, so base set theoretically could have even had a level associated with it. We would see this return in later sets. And then you can see some of the copyright information down below. Again, really cool, because this is genuinely a part of Pokemon history. This is one of the first English Pokemon cards ever printed, and it's even cooler because it has a very distinct backstory behind it. If anyone's curious, here's what the back of the card looks like. It really wasn't anything fancy. Again, they really didn't even have the idea for what the artwork on the back might be, but the idea is that they just grabbed a piece of print cardboard and tested this out. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this is that CGC, for all of the drama that they may have recently been involved in, they have definitely done some really interesting grading. And you can see here that CGC, researched and analyzed, and then it was one of those things where they got in touch with WotC and they did all this kind of stuff. And then they've actually graded quite a few of these cards. And when I say quite a few, I mean 4. So as you can see, the employee who was contacted said that the card was created for media to demonstrate what they could look like. And then due to this being the reason behind its creation, it was a commissioned presentation card. So basically something that the company printed to show Nintendo and Pokemon executives what the card could look like. One other similar example was created for intentional use, and its whereabouts are unknown. Now, what's interesting about this is that there exists I think CGC 6 of these. So there's one that's like either a 6 or a 6.5, and there is a person on Facebook that actually has that card and was, kind of flaunting and showing this article or a similar one to it, where they basically kind of helped to point out like, hey, this 8.5 just sold for $360,000 at auction. And people were very quick to point out, obviously, that he shouldn't expect anywhere near as much because it is a different grade. Additionally, I would like to point out that this was sold at one of the major auction houses. So this was not sold on Facebook. This was not sold privately. This was sold on a official, actual, whole auction house. As you can see, it was sold as part of Heritage Auctions Comic and Comic Art Signature Auction. And it was, there's definitely a reason why those auction houses exist. The idea is that high value clientele will kind of, look to these private auction houses as the best way of securing their cards. And then the other thing to bear in mind is that while this is admittedly a piece of Pokemon history, kind of like thinking about the first ever Game Boy chips that might have been invented for video game collectors out there, I do have to say this card is awkwardly niche, because if you look at this card and had no backstory behind it, I could see many of us thinking this was a fake card, because it looks genuinely like a fake card. But the truth of the matter is there's a very legitimate story behind it, and it was, proven time and time again, which is why it's been certified as real and why it carries such a significant value to it. But unlike a Holy Grail, this is more of a history piece or a historic significance piece, and that's why it carries such a high price. So selling for $360,000 was no easy feat, but I definitely encourage people to remember that this might not be everyone's definition of a Holy Grail. Someone bought this because of its cultural significance, not because it's a Holy Grail. You could have bought a first edition Blastoise PSA 10 and you'd probably be better off if you're thinking of a Holy Grail of a Pokemon card. You buy this because you realize there's a very distinct and interesting history behind it, and its value can't be understated because of that. But with all that said, friends, thanks again for checking out today's video. This is just some of the stuff that kind of happened in the hobby this week, but I hope this selection was something interesting and valuable for you to get caught up on. Hopefully there will be a lot more chatter about the 25th anniversary set. I'm super curious what it's going to be, if it's going to be like Generations for the 20th anniversary, but I also am very curious what we might see Pokemon push out other than trading cards. Obviously they have the Funko Pops, they have the skateboards by Bear Walker, so there's tons of other stuff, and I'm very interested to kind of see how that plays out. If you haven't already, thanks again to my nearly 700 subscribers. I can't even thank you all enough for how quickly the channel has started to grow, and I definitely encourage you, if you haven't already, to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Videos are coming out 3 times a week, and I'm trying to keep that up as best as I can, and I'm also trying to find ways to add value to my content along the way. As always, thank you for your viewership. I appreciate you all. You could be anywhere on the internet, but you chose to spend some time with me. Today is Tuesday, so not really, much going on. I figured it was important to kind of address the elephant in the room with the 25th anniversary. But on Thursday, we will do a mail day, and then on Saturday, we're going to do a little bit of investment advice, specifically speaking about opportunity cost. So until then, friends, thanks again for checking out another video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.